And now it's time for lefties losing it, and we know the Democratic Socialist frontrunner for New York Mayor Zoran Mamdani has a resume the length of his arm, and apparently he can add accents to that as well. Here he is speaking to his fellow Ugandans.
You know, I'm from Uganda, but I also grew up in New York. In New York, you don't really, you go out, some guys are very hesitant to dance. You know, if they're not grinding, they're just standing. In Kampala, you will just not find that.
And here he is showing off his Arabic.
كعمدة رح جمد الإيجارات لأكثر من 2,000,000 شخص وخلي الباصات سريعة ومجانا وأضمن رعاية الأطفال شاملة لكل العائلات.
ويمكن ما فيني أقنعك إنه الكنافة النابلسية بستانواي أطيب من نيوجيرسي، بس بوعدكم إني رح أشتغل بكل جهدي لأسهل عليكم بفتح مشاريعكم الصغيرة.
Well, he's practically Kamala Harris 2.0. Remember how she used to rip out those accents after a couple of wines or two? And from the many accents to the many faces of Mamdani, the candidate has also gone on a vibes-only tour of New York, hitting the clubs instead of hitting policy.
Poppy Juice, how we doing? How we doing, Poppy Juice? You know, I just first want to say such a deep thank you to Poppy Juice.
Yeah, this is what happens when your whole campaign is based entirely around vibes and feels, and it just gets worse. Yeah, apparently this is the quid pro quo for the left. Rap and dance and sing like an idiot to try and win over the young vote. Are we supposed to buy this nightclub charm offensive? I don't know, because I'd call it more like a clown show. And in his final appearance, the socialist even made an appearance at a gay bar.
And I'm here because we only got 3 days until the election. 3 days. 3 days until we can win a city we can afford. So I'm asking all of you to get out there and vote.
Yeah, I mean, do these people think that Mamdani is actually going to give them everything for free and they'll just vibe away? Well, thank goodness for President Trump.
Some people have compared him to a left-wing version of you, charismatic, breaking the old rules. What do you think about that?
Well, I think I'm a much better looking person than him, right?
Now to California's own Ken doll, Gavin Newsom, whose Botox has clearly seeped into his brain.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
Yeah, how's the homelessness crisis going over there, Gavin? Illegal immigration, a budget deficit? No, wait, hang on. Sorry, I thought the politicians don't lie. Now to Barack Obama, who's having another Trump derangement syndrome-induced frenzy.
Our country and our politics are in a pretty dark place right now. It's hard to know where to start because every day this White House offers up a fresh batch of lawlessness and recklessness and mean-spiritedness and just plain craziness.
I mean, the funny thing is, it sounds like he was actually describing the Biden-Harris Obama-Biden years there, apparently. Now, look, can someone please, I'm begging you, give Nancy Pelosi some help?
I think he always has to be taken seriously because he's a very, very dangerous man. I think he has to be taken seriously because children are my issue. That's why I'm in politics. That's my why, for the children. He's the worst president children in America have had in our own history.
Poor woman. Poor, poor woman. She is acutely and chronically triggered, isn't she? And look, when all else fails, the left just resort to swearing. Here's the governor of Illinois.
They want to criminalize educators for supporting LGBTQ students. They want to turn classrooms into cultural war battlegrounds. And I'm sorry to be vulgar, but Donald Trump and his cronies can all the way off.
Yeah, swearing will do it for you. Now to one of the most dreadful women in America, Jennifer Welsh, who's having another totally normal one. Here is her latest diatribe.
We have an incompetent, dementia-ridden running the United States of America right now. He is so over his skis. It is so abundantly obvious. Shame on corporate media or any media that isn't covering this absolute mental decline the likes of which the world has never seen, to quote him, on full display.
I wonder where Jennifer was during the Biden years. Was she around? No, she wasn't, was she? Because the left never questioned his mental competence, did they? Lack of, when he was mumbling, bumbling, stumbling and falling. No, Jen wasn't around. Now to political commentator Ellie Mistel, who thinks we're all going to take him seriously with the comb in his hair.
Most of our Constitution, even the amendments, have been written and ratified exclusively by white, rich, land-holding men, right? There's not a single state that had a majority legislature of women that has ratified a single amendment in the current Constitution, right? So starting from the beginning and pulling that thread all the way through now, this is a white man's document, and it looks like.
And now to comedian Wanda Skies, who's completely broken. She's now claiming that she doesn't like hiring men or white people.
I'm gonna be up front with you. If when it comes to a position and I look on the paper and they right there, or she might be right here and he's up there, I'm hiring the woman. And that's just how I operate. And I'm be honest with you, if she's a black woman, you got the job. Girl, you got the job.
Yeah, because that's totally legal, isn't it? And gee, the left are just such hypocrites. Rapper Cardi B is now crying poor, would you believe, despite her wealth sitting at $80 million.
When was the last time y'all seen celebrities happy and or anybody like, oh yeah, I just bought a new house? The economy is up in all types of ways. Everybody's going through it. Every body is going through it. These companies, they're not giving money like how they used to before. Nobody's really benefiting but the super billionaires that own all the type of, those are the only people that's winning.
Well, it's been revealed the BBC used a doctored video of President Trump's January 6th speech, the day of the Capitol Hill riot, and mangled the timeline of the day's events in a documentary last year. According to a 19-page report on the BBC bias obtained by The Telegraph, the documentary, called Trump a Second Chance, materially misled viewers by splicing together clips of Trump's speech at the Stop the Steal rally to make it seem like he incited the riot at the US Capitol. Have a look.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Joining me now is Sky News contributor Kosha Garda. Kosha, thanks for joining me. This is extraordinary. This happened at the BBC. This is the public broadcaster over there. Surely the BBC has to take accountability. Heads have to roll.
We would think, Danica, great to be with you, but I think history has shown that these corporate media outlets only have heads roll when they're really pushed into a corner and forced to. So we shall see what happens. This was quite extraordinary. It came through because Michael Prescott, a former advisor to their editorial standards committee, was a whistleblower and came through with these edits. And this in particular is even extra egregious because the whole narrative globally around J6 has really been one way, and piece by piece it's unraveling, as we know, and a lot of that is still being adjudicated, where they tried to frame it up as it was this direct incitement by the then sitting president of the United States that led to a, quote, insurrection, none of which actually was the case. There was a portion that devolved into riots. Those people were held accountable and then some. But this narrative has been very, very dangerous. And obviously President Trump is back, and this is being adjudicated right now. So with that as a backdrop, this is very, very bad for the BBC. It is taxpayer funded. And Trump has shown that he is not shy from filing lawsuits, civil lawsuits. He's done it to a lot of American media outlets. I don't know what he's going to do for the BBC, but this is just a breaking news story, and I don't think anyone will be surprised if he decides to go that route, even against the BBC.
Well, the BBC is meant to be the trusted public broadcaster over there, and this is an absolute disgrace.